You can be too patient. And that patience of like, well, I think it could go to this level. Well, I think it could do that, will sometimes cost you money. Now, what we're going to talk about in this section is using multiple time frames to master VWAP. Evan is a master of VWAP. He truly does understand how to stay patient enough while using the higher time frames to find how to combine the right price with the right time. So, we're going to get into it. We got a bunch of sessions, bunch of panels still to do. So try here on this session, it's a little shorter. Try to hold your questions till the end, okay? Unless it's super pressing to a specific chart, let's hold to the end. Good? Let's do it.
All right. So I do want to keep this simple because, I mean, with any of our trading, once we go through some of these markups here in the end, I try to keep it as simple as possible because we were talking a little bit last night of overcomplicating it, no matter where you're at in your trading, is probably never a good thing, right? It's really knowing what you do well, what you don't do well, and just refining it through time and then sticking with what works for a longer period of time. A lot of the time it's not seeing enough through, but I mean now, how long have I traded like this? At least a year, and I sometimes add in maybe his book map. I'll look at different levels, but the core basics are pretty much the same. But first, this was probably my best streak of trading where, what was that, 42 days, one losing red day. Now, they weren't all max daily profit days, but the same thing in that time. That was October to February. It was really just ending the day green. My job is just to make money. It's not to try to maximize gains every single day, as stupid as that sounds. If I could finish the day green today and stack my way towards that payout without being so emotional, right? Because could I always try to go make more? But I'm up on the day. That's going to make me feel better tomorrow where I could then trade better. The risk is always, if I keep on sticking around and trading more likely to do something stupid. Does that bleed into the next day's trading? And then the next day's trading. So my job is just knowing that at this time, one little thing might spiral me, not dramatically, but I know that the importance of ending the day green is going to help me tomorrow and the rest of the week. So the risk reward of trading the rest of the day wouldn't be worth it for the rest of my week, if that can make sense. But this was definitely the biggest tear I went on. The bottom half towards the right, obviously the size is a lot lower, because it was almost intimidating of trying to keep this streak alive because everyone's watching me. Are you still green? Did you not lose yet? That's insane.
And also getting closer to the payout, so wanting to preserve the gains. Look at the small green bars, though, everybody. You want to hit them with the pointer? See them, everybody? Even the second trading day. That's him just walking away and not going red. Or it's him being red initially and getting green and just calling it and saying, I'll come hit hard tomorrow, and he does. Look at the rebound. There's only 2 small consecutive green days. You see him in there? Every other small green day has led to a big green day the next day. Isn't that interesting?
But this is also the biggest number to probably focus on. 54 losses. Obviously, I was still taking trading losses, but I'm ending the day green. That's why a lot of these are smaller. So if you want to say there's 30 solid green days of profit, the other 10, I survived. I was down. I recovered. I don't need to try to press it even more. And then for better or for worse, towards this back half, consistency of sizing of, well, I don't want to hammer it now. I'm on this crazy streak. I don't want to lose it. But that's not maximizing gains because it was the next month after this, which I don't have up here. The next month I broke the streak, but I made more money than I did on the streak just because now, well, I'm trading freely. That the streak means nothing. It just looks cool and pretty, but I wasn't maximizing gains necessarily because it did handcuff me sometimes of being less willing to take a trade. Now I'm more in my head of remaining perfect and keeping the streak intact, and that's just expectations. The streak means nothing. It doesn't pay me more. AK, that's why I made more the next month without the streak. So if you just stick to what's been working, once the streak was snapped, okay, what got me that? What were the setups? I still want to repeat that moving forward, but there's no expectation of, well, you're fine to lose.
This is only good for Instagram. That's all a streak matters for. It doesn't make you more money.
And then these were some of the payouts from that, and then at the very end, just cleared the entire Top Step account after I got the 30 days of, was it $200? Tradify payouts, no top ones yet, but that will be coming this month. It's all right. But scalping with the VWAP. So I really want to keep it simple on just one VWAP, maybe 2 to 3 throughout the rest of the day. But you see this black one is always going to be anchored from the 9:30 open. Keep it simple. The one level is the opening range. We have an initial balance later on in the first hour of the day. This is just the first 15 minutes of the day. How we were just mentioning, a lot of the time it's not just price, it's the timing that you're trying to play that price. So with this one, this is our first break outside of that bottom range. I probably want to be a bear today. doesn't just mean I sell it right now because what is that? 3 more minutes of follow through. If I don't time that exit perfectly at the bottom, now am I back at break even? So I agree it wants to move lower today, but when do I want to get in short after a pullback? Because moves like that don't sustain forever. I mean, what is that? 12 minutes of just all sellers, and now I'm going to jump in. The play to jump in probably would have been from the top, not my strategy, but now I can't move in now. Everybody sees that it's bearish. Let it pull back, and then just play the next leg of it. A lot of it is going to be trend continuation. So you have to be willing to miss a part of the trend. But that's fine, because if it's going to keep on trending all day, we'll catch the next move. But if you don't have faith that there is a next move, this is the only one today, then yeah, go ahead. Jump in down here, take the stop loss, and then see it fall where you wanted it to. You just got eager and jumped in too soon. So it's all about just waiting for a pullback. You're playing the same price. What is that, 30 minutes later, but after the pullback, no drawdown initially. And this is the importance of that stop loss we were saying. I don't really pull my trades early. Case in point for this one. I try to put it at a place where I know I don't want to be short anymore. If we take that out and we're making now higher highs, yeah, I probably shouldn't be short. Now I want to be full out of it. But too many times, someone's going to cut it here, see it come back down, they're adding back in, they cut it again, now they're on tilt because nothing's really happened. We moved maybe 6 points, but they've taken 3 trades. I just want to take the one trade, see the idea through, tell me when I'm wrong, or tell me when I'm right. If I'm wrong, hit the stop loss, I'll readjust, and maybe the shorts aren't in play today. I'll look for longs later on. I don't try to rush and time it perfectly. I'm giving it a shot that I want to sell this level at the bottom. If we take that out, okay, I'm wrong. Maybe I'll look for longs later on. It's the same thing here to the upside. There's the break of the top of the range. I know I want to be a buyer, but I'm not going to chase, one, the first break, but also at the very highest price up until that moment. I want to let it pull back down. It respects the same level. I could buy it at the same level that you wanted to 20 minutes ago, but now you're seeing it create some structure where you know you'd want a stop loss, and from there, it's all profit. Now, some people will say, and it is a fair point, if I buy it there, depending on where your stop is, you probably survive. We probably both make money. Because if you're buying at the same price, that small pullback's probably not enough to stop you out. But it's, again, I want to get in and take on as least amount of drawdown as possible because I know I could just operate better if I'm in pure profit, as most of us do. So I'm not saying, I don't think that price goes higher from there. I know if I'm a little bit early, I may overmanage it, I may question it, I don't want to sit through that drawdown if I don't have to. So I'm not trying to time it perfectly, just trying to time it better. So if I could get in now and see pure profit, then this pullback, if I was buying it from there, seeing green, back to break even, well, now what do I want to do? I was just up, now I'm at break even. Is it going to go to red now? Do I get out of it? You start to question yourself a lot when if you could just get in when it's telling you to, all profit from there, there's less stress and less room to freak it out. But also, the thing I like about this one is you now have structure built for a stop loss. On that first one, you really would have to probably go at the low a day.
Well, there's no high or low.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's down at the bottom.
So we saw a short, we saw a long. Any questions on that real quick before we go on? It's simple. Yeah, for the most part. I mean,
even here, like you see how it pulls back to VWAP and it bounces that bullish bar. That maybe is where a Tanner or someone would try. That's the turn to me. Like that bullish black bar off the black VWAP is now sellers were trying to take and buyers have stepped in with a defense, like with a shield. Now let's see if we can continue.
But you got to think about it, of the market moving in waves. So it's the same thing we said earlier of like, there's the part of the move that I would want to catch. I didn't catch it. I don't want to just jump in at the top. I'll wait for the pullback, and we'll try to get the next one. Even if you miss this one, let it pull back, catch the next one. Don't just be jumping at the top, hoping there's more follow-through. Sometimes there is. Sometimes it's 20 points more follow-through. Sometimes it's 5. So it's really a matter of just recognizing that we're going to move in waves. I missed this one. Could I get in late now and make some money? Sure. How many times out of 100, though? The next 3 or the next 100? Who knows? So if I could just time it better of riding the next wave, I feel a lot more just ease and calm when you're entering the trade because you know you're not rushing into something or chasing something late. This is another downside just easily drawn of, if you want to take a picture of this, is really how simple it is. There's the first break after a big move. So one, I don't want to chase the first break, and I don't want to be chasing an overextended move. So let it pull back. There's the sellers saying, yeah, we're going to stick underneath this New York VWAP, and they break us out of the open range low a second time. All right, well, now I can go. Now the timing is ready because it's now the second break after a pullback, but it's the same exact price. But this one is all ready to go for profit, where this one was ready for a pullback.
Who's been caught in the red circle before? Randy, put that hand up. First break of range trades are very much a FOMO trade because there are days where we break range and go. But it's like 1 out of 10 days, I promise. The longer you wait, you'll see we don't usually do that. First break of range is sometimes a signal. We now are moving lower. Sellers are taking control. I don't want to chase. I want to wait for the better time, like he's saying, to take the trade. It is the same price, correct? He's short in the green circle at the same price he wanted to be short at the red circle. But because he gave the market space to breathe and take a breath, he now gets the right timing. He gets the instant profit. Notice the pullback doesn't go all the way to the New York VWAP. Austin, does it have to go to the VWAP? No, man. Like, think about what the market is telling you. The market said sellers at the open, buyers tried to take it back. Buyers could not even make a new high of day. There's not even a higher high here. So once the sellers take the black New York VWAP and push that move out of opening range low, it is very clear you're flat or you're selling it today. Okay, if I'm selling it, where do I want to sell it? When it's higher, ideally, right? In some form of a pullback. Maybe you don't get that entry. The next way in is like he's teaching you here. You put a VWAP on the low of day, that's the purple line, and you take the break of that VWAP as the entry, because that is when sellers are officially stepping back in. Sellers are in control in general if we're on the lower side of the New York VWAP, but when we take that low a day VWAP, that's where the slide can happen, as you see here. Straight profit.
Yeah, it's very hard, as silly as it is, it's very hard to fuck this trade up, as when, if you're selling at the red circle and you take on 4 candles of drawdown immediately, there's a greater chance that maybe you will pull it early. You're questioning yourself, why did I sell at that price? It's so low. I know I should have waited for a pullback. Maybe you pull it early because you're saying it is going to come all the way up to New York. Let me get out of this price. Then it drops back down, and then you're jumping in late to the second move that you were already in. Where this one, I'm trying to get in with when I think it's less likely that I'm going to fuck something up because it's probably ready to go now. I don't want to really be early, as none of us do, but I feel like this is the better timing, so let me try it now rather than 20 minutes ago, even though 20 minutes ago could have paid the same and you could have maybe not even gotten stopped out. I was less stressful throughout that whole trade, so I'll execute it better. I'll get out when I'm supposed to. I didn't suffer that 10 minutes of drawdown. Now that I'm back at break even, I'm going to say, yeah, just get me out. I didn't like that drawdown. Just get me out break even. I got in, and I'm getting out a little over 1R. Same thing we talked about. The quicker it moves, the quicker I'm out. He's very, obviously, non-1R. I still try to shoot for around it, but for the most part, it's really just reading, reacting to how fast price is moving. Here's an upside example. No need to look at it too much, but another thing is they're all going to be off probably the New York VWAP, a key level, whether that's a VWAP or actual level of the opening range high there. But the whole thing is not chasing the drift higher, of having faith that they can give a bigger pullback, right? There's some small higher lows in here. You could definitely try to long those. This purple VWAP is anchored from the high of day, and the break of it is telling me buyers are back in after just retesting a key level, right? Obviously, they were in this whole time, but I want to see them take a break. Sellers try to push us lower, but respect that key level or key VWAP. And then the next time buyers show back up, now they're ready to continue the trend rather than hoping trend continues from here. I mean, it's been ripping like crazy. I hope it keeps going higher. I've seen sellers try to take it, buyers defended it, and now they're ready to go again. And same thing, stop loss keeps you alive to still build those higher lows because the move isn't wrong or invalidated at least until we break back underneath New York and start making lower highs and lower lows.
What do you notice about from market open? What is price telling you? Who's in control? Oh, I love it when you all answer. Thank God. Where does the New York VWAP go? Louder? Above the opening range. Yes. So even more of a reason there's no short to be had. How many people tried to short it, do you think, after that first run-up out of the opening range? A lot. A lot. You don't need to. Wait, breathe, be cool, calm, and collected like him, and you could take great trades like this. I'd probably be aggressive, and I'd try to buy this on the New York VWAP when it turns, when it's bullish, because then I get a stop down in the range. If this turns and comes back in the range, it's broken. It's not the way it's supposed to be. So now that you're starting to see this all come together, there's a lot of different VWAPs you can play. But it doesn't matter. What matters is price. Who's in control? Are we making higher highs and higher lows, holding those VWAPs, or not?
Let's do some more examples of he was showing a little bit. Where
the
do
flashcards.
we go next? So this is the New York Open, big opening range in terms of it's 1045. We haven't broken out of the opening range at all. Maybe a pin to the downside, but any guesses just real quick where you think this would probably want to go? Would you rather long this or short this?
Hold on, wait. Make them both.
Flat New York VWAP, choppy obviously since the Open, so we're leaning long bias.
Long? Short.
Well, we're all wrong. But this whole thing of the opening range, more so of lately, if we're in this opening range, the people that said flat, I would agree with you now that if we're in this range, I don't know where we're going, and I don't care where we're going. Give me new information on either a break to the upside or the downside, and then I'll react to the next leg. The same thing. There's the pop to the downside. I don't need to time it that's the time it was ready to go when I thought it was ready to go back there or back there. I thought it wanted to go lower, but it just didn't have the gas to do it until then. I don't need to try to time that. You'll get burnt trying to time that over and over again. Didn't work, so let me long it then. Okay, now we short it again. If we're in this range and look at the sentiment of that New York VWAP, it's flat. Clearly no one's strongly in control, that we're trending higher. And then as you see, as it does break out, we start to fall on the New York VWAP. So just wait for the break, new information, retest off that same level, and then you catch the next leg of the trend continuation. But there was no trend here to try to continue. So don't try to guess what the trend is going to come in at. Yes, it's healthy to have a bias and look at the higher time frames, but trying to time it in these ranges, I know I'm a better trend trader. I know I don't want to time it because I'll easily get chopped up. So just get me out, give me new information. It's going to make the next trade just easier. Now I know I don't want to buy it. We broke to the downside. So now I know I'm looking for one direction. So then I can just lean into, well, okay, well, I want to sell it. Where do I normally want to sell it? Off the key level. It just becomes so much easier and calmer than trying to force the pop out of a chop.
And like this stop loss puts him in a position where if he's short and this comes back into the range, it ain't right. So that's why that stop is valid. And notice, if you took mid-range shorts earlier in the day, do you make money? You definitely do if you follow the rules and you put your stop at the opening range high. It does not retest opening range high. You could have shorted it. Show 'em. Point to it with the pointer. There's like right there, right there. You could have been short on any touch of New York VWAP to the downside, and if you put your stop at the opening range high, you still made money. But you took on hours of drawdown. So what would you rather do? Hours of drawdown or patience and flat until the entry presents correctly? Hours of drawdown? Tanner, God damn it. Everybody wants to be patient for the right entry. I would hope the hands are up for that. Who has the mental fortitude to be patient for that entry? Who's going to sit there from 9:30 till 11:30 for 2 hours and do nothing? The people that put their hands up believe in themselves. The rest of you should talk to them. Serious. It's belief. Do you believe you can be patient? Or do you believe that you're a degenerate and you're just going to force yourself into a trade? And then when that comes, I'll still take it, but you're down $500, $1,000 already. Yeah?
I've just seen too many people also sell it underneath that New York. Then it doesn't follow through. It's now back above New York, so then they long it. And then they switch it back to short. It's like, well, how much new information that we got that your bias is switching that drastically, that quickly?
And you're not following the rules because you're cutting trades before they're invalid. So you're tilted. You gotta go. All right, this is a good one.
Let's do another one. We got the same thing. Opening range has been broken to the upside. New York VWAP sloping a little bit more higher here to the upside, but still within that opening range. Should be like the shorts here or the longs here, more so than not.
Longs, hands up. Shorts, hands up.
So there's the break to the downside.
What'd I tell ya?
So we also have a high day view up on this one. You can notice buyers couldn't hold it there, couldn't really get above it the second time they tried to hold New York. But it's the same thing. I think we could want to go higher too.
I would have said higher. I see higher lows and higher highs.
But we're in the range, so I don't give a fuck where it wants to go. Tell me where you want to go. There's the break. New information outside the range.
And then here, if you were long, go back one. If you were long here, where's your stop? Range bottom, exactly. So where you stopped out? Right here. Now next slide. There's your move. So you can take that loss on that long, not chase that move lower, play it short later in the day and recover. So you don't have to be wrong the whole day. You just got to be reacting, not married to the long bias. All right, I'm going to buy it at the bottom now. No, bro, the market is telling you we finally broke lower. You should be looking for shorts the rest of the day until that VWAP is taken, which it never even gets retested.
And there's plenty of money to be made in these smaller pullbacks, right? If you're definitely short biased by this point, you could want to be looking for shorts. You get a break of a lower day view up there saying, let's go continue this short trend, but it doesn't follow through. Always try to let it return to a key level or a key VWAP, and then that's more likely where the next leg of the actual trend or the bigger move of trend would want to continue from. So I'm not really concerned of trying to take these small little baby pullbacks, I would call them. Let it pull back for like an hour. Sellers clearly defend this level. Then they break the lower day, another choppy one. But good stop loss at structure, you let sellers hold in until buyers take control. Sellers try to keep taking us lower and lower, and then they finally win that battle because you're on the right side of trend that there's a greater chance will eventually fall as opposed to eventually skyrocket back up when there was no buyers at the open.
Are you guys following the VWAPs that are on screen? Purple low a day, purple high a day, black is New York VWAP.
So like this one right here? Yeah, you definitely could. That's like the small pullback retest to the key level. There's even another one here and another one over here. My thing is just seeing, I like to see a bigger pullback so I could have more structure covered, right? That I've let this all come back. I'm selling it to the low of day. That I have more room to trade to where we've already been. I know price has been down there. We can probably get there again. Rather than trading it, if I'm selling that low a day break, it's probably right there. I have, 3 points to back to low a day. And now I'm asking for new lows to be made. Not that they can't. I just like to go fill the space that we've already been. That's really it. So if I can get the bigger pullback, there's more risk reward or more room to just go somewhere that on this trade, I don't even need it to go to a new low a day. The trend doesn't even need to continue for me to make money.
Right.
If you're selling it at the lowest price, you need a new low a day to go make some money. And I don't want to have to rely on that in case it does slow down.
Great answer. I like selling into low a day, not selling for a new low a day. And also, time builds a base. The more time you have from the anchor until that anchor is broken, the more information it gathers. So if you throw a low a day on it, the first break of opening range to the downside at that one candle, and it's 6 minutes until you take the short, you have 6 minutes of information. It's not that much versus if you wait for that break and then this entry, it's 2 hours of information. Much more reliability in the trend and the anchor from that point.
And this is just a quick one of just noticing how all these cleaner entries are on their way out of the opening range or already outside of that open range, that the trend is outside this range. So we are continuing higher, and then your job is just to try to capitalize off the key level and the key VWAP.
Bro, that third trade, buyers have clear control all day. They try to take control at 1140, 1150 to the downside. They can't. They even throw a nasty pin for you to use as a stop loss, and then they take the high a day VWAP, which says, don't buy the rip, don't buy the dip, buy that like he has marked, and look at the reward. I'm out of that trade at equal highs, maybe trailing one contract. When it gives you free money like that, bro, that is amazing. That's the power of trading with VWAP, especially when VWAP leaves the New York range, when we get out of that opening range.
Yep, and then one quick thing would just be these 3 or 4 candles down back below New York VWAP doesn't just necessarily mean, sellers are in. The trend is changing to short. You still have to account for a structure that, okay, well, since the open, it's still been higher highs and higher lows. The New York VWAP is still sloping up. Is it more likely to continue higher with the trend, or are sellers actually in and making new lower highs and lower lows? Because this just induces so many shorts saying, well, we were above it, but now sellers are in, right? So we're going to go just sell off. Well, what's the higher time frame saying, first of all? But even just here on the 1 minute, it's still building higher lows. That there's no saying that this is going to be the higher low we're working off of. This can't be broken. From back here in the open, it's still moving higher. I don't want to be calling that now sellers are stepping in. If they do break for a new low a day, and you were right on this was the time that sellers came in, I'll just catch the leg of it later. I don't need to catch the first time sellers are in. I'll get it later.
Yeah, for new traders, like if you're really buying in on the VWAP stuff, the best thing Christine will tell you is don't fight that VWAP. Try your best to stay flat or just trade with it. Unless you really know your personality and you are a reversion kind of guy, like a revert to the mean, I want to wait for extremes like Isaac and then flip it back. They know themselves. But when you're a new trader, I believe a high win rate is easier to teach than a high risk reward, and trading with trend is easier than counter trend. That's just my opinion. So if you're here for, I would ask the other guys what they think of that, but easy means simple. Simple is what we kind of need because we tend to overcomplicate things on our own. So try to keep all of this as simple as possible. Now, this is the most important part of this presentation.